Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to the TGB2 season finale. We head to Australia and Abu Dhabi tonight, where we will surely crown, or we will crown, a world champion tonight. Will it be Aidan Griffiths, or will it be Jack Pearson? We head to Melbourne first, where Aidan will be looking to wrap that title up immediately. He has a 48-point advantage, and 9th place here in Albert Park will seal the title. Alongside me tonight, I've got Paul McGuinness. Paul, is Aidan going to do it right away, or is he going to have to wait to Abu Dhabi? What do you think?
Good evening, Andy. Yeah, good to be here. I think Aidan, as far as I know, is going to go for it tonight, so I can honestly see the title fight going right down to the wire. Should be an interesting one to watch tonight.
Yeah, it sure will be. Well, as always, we've got qualifying, we've got the race. Last weekend we had one shot qualifying and 3 races, but this week, fear not, we're back to the normal 3 qualifying and race. So the full 18 minutes, or the full 12 minutes as it is on this game, I'm sure it is. So we'll have the qualifying here at Albert Park on our way in a few moments' time. But it's good to have you alongside us, Paul. 2 Scotsmen in the commentary box, a Scotsman going for the title. And yeah, we're not biased at all, are we, Paul? We're not biased at all.
No, not biased towards Aidan Griffiths, not at all, Andy.
Come on in. come on in.
Yeah, no, it would be good to see. It would be good to see Aidan winning it, but Jack's had a really difficult season, so it would be nice to see him, grabbing something at the end of the season. But with a 48-point gap, as you said, it's going to be very difficult, but it's not impossible.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, it never is impossible. You're absolutely right. Until it's mathematically impossible, there's always a chance. Aidan Griffiths has won 10 out of the 18 races this season. It's almost a minor miracle that he hasn't already wrapped up that World Championship, it has to be said. Jack has only won 4 races so far this season, so it's a real gulf between the 2 drivers when it comes to the number of victories. Jack just being consistent at times and ensuring that he's been in the fight all the way to the final week. Aidan has actually been on pole 11 times out of 18, even more dominant when it comes to pole positions. Meanwhile, his championship rival Jack has not had a single pole all season long, Paul, and surely tonight is the night where he has to put it on pole if he's got any remaining hope of winning this title.
Yeah, you would think so, but we've just been told here it's actually going to be raining at the end of qualifying, so if Jack wants to do it, he'll need to get out now and get that lap set ASAP.
Yep, well, I'm riding on board with Jack Pearson right now, and all the cars scattering out onto the racetrack. Giapelli, Mike Noon, Dom Smith, Bart Dood, Chris Johnson, Mr. John, Michael Kenny, and AFC James all out on track. Joe, Sir Lennox, Erledang, and Red Bull Kim still in the garages waiting to go out. And an interesting story on Red Bull Kim, actually. He actually got rid of the Formula 1 game and he got the bug for it. He just loves the game so much, he went out there, bought it again, and Red Bull Kim is back on the circuit. Great to see the Danish driver back on track. He is a character, isn't he, Paul?
Yes, I mean that must have been a nightmare for Kim to try and find that game so quickly tonight, but yeah, good to see him back tonight. He's a legend, absolute legend.
Yep, it's good to have him back. And the Bet Noon odds, it's always good to deliver those. Of course, Mike Noon makes those odds and loses out every week. Aidan double pole position, evens. Jack first pole of the season, 4-1. Now that might be worth a shot, who knows. Aidan title, well, the betting is suspended on that, it's almost a certainty. Jack to win the title, 13-1. I have to say, I think Bet Noon's ripping us off with that kind of price. That's terrible. Surely something around 50-1 would be more suitable, but there you go. Jordan winning in Australia is 7-3. Luca winning in Abu Dhabi, 6-1. Mike to record a win, 10-1. Mercedes to win the Constructors, 2-1. Sauber to win the Constructors, 6-1. Now, let's actually discuss that. Mercedes on 402 points in the Constructors, Jack and Joe, and Sauber on 374, Aidan and James. That's a lot to claw back in 2 races, but it's a lot more likely than the Drivers' Championship, isn't it?
Yeah, no, there's definitely a chance of Sauber claiming that title in this last couple of races, but Jack has, as you say, has been very consistent, and Joe is almost like he's wingman, so I'm sure those guys will be out there to score as much points as they can. That's a bit controversial, isn't it? But
that is very controversial.
It's the way I see it at the moment, but yeah, I think Mercedes will just about win it at the end.
Yep, as we go on board with Jack Pearson, or watch him from the outset camera going through the high-speed chicane. Got to be the most exciting part of the racetrack, Paul, isn't it? That high-speed chicane. It really does separate the men from the boys as we watch Jack Pearson head round the final couple of corners. That Renault might want to jump out of the way of Michael Kenny. And if you remember back to Aidan Griffin's first ever race, he once squeaked at Michael Kenny, "Michael, get out of the way! I'm on a hot lap! You're down in the bottom 6!" But anyway, back to Jack Pearson crossing the line, and he goes fastest with a 1:23.1. But surely, despite that 1:23.1, his lap time was compromised by Michael Kenny. And will he go and squeak at Michael Kenny? I mean, that was a full 202 races ago, that Aidan Griffin's moment with Michael Kenny. Well, Jack Pearson do that as Aidan now pumps in a fastest lap of 1:22.8, and that is on the super soft compound, not even the ultra soft. And Paul, that's quite concerning early on for Jack Pearson, isn't it?
Yeah, no, for sure. Aidan, as Aidan said to me before the race, he's going out to win this tonight at Australia, and so far it looks as if he will be doing that with that time. That is incredible. Over 3/10 faster than Jack on the super softs. Wow.
Yep. But we have to remember, of course, Jack Pearson did get held up quite considerably, but even though he was held up, I don't think he would have enough in his pocket to go significantly quicker on those ultras than Aidan was on the supers. They maybe go quicker, but not by much, as Sir Lanex now goes second quickest on the super soft compound as well. So a reasonable effort from him to get within that distance of the champions elect. So good effort from Sir Lanex as we watch Joe Sayer, the wingman, according to Paul McGuinness, of Jack Pearson. Controversial, as we've discussed, as he comes down towards the end of the lap into that final sector, into what I like to refer to as the two Lesmo corners, just like at Monza, only this second one is a little bit longer and a little bit more difficult as you run out towards the runoff area. Now through that penultimate corner and into the pits will come Joe Sayer, so not a representative time so far from Joe as he comes into the pits. And now I believe would be a good time to listen to Aidan Griffin's interview. Now he doesn't like these getting repeated, but unknown to him, I've actually saved his interview that he often does with me, and let's have a little listen to what he has to say going into this Grand Prix weekend.
The final two race weekends, and it's kind of nervous, you know, battling for the title with someone. You know, I've got the big points lead, so it's going to take a lot to lose this championship. You know, when anything can happen, this is Formula One, so yeah, a little bit nervous, obviously going into it, but it's natural. So I mean, hopefully we can take the TGP title back to Scotland, and yeah, it's going to be a shame. It's my final.
Sorry about these delays here.
Two races in TGP2, so looking forward now to TGP1.
So what do you think of that then? He seems as if he's got a big points lead there, but already looking forward to TGP1, he seemed to be saying there, Paul, didn't he?
Yeah, he seems to have this title sorted already. Yeah, I think Aidan and I are teaming up next season for TGP1, so let's see if Aidan can bring home that title. We have two TGP2 champions in Silver next season, but
yeah, we did.
That, he didn't really seem too confident, to be honest with that, and it didn't really sound the Aidan that we normally hear. Maybe the pressure is just getting too much for him.
Well, we'll have to wait and see. He is still quickest of all on those super soft compound tyres, as I'm going on board with Mike Noon, who has placed himself at betnoon.com at 10-1 to score a victory over the two races. I mean, that is a hefty price, but he did win last time out in Monte Carlo, so 10-1 if anyone fancies it. betnoon.com, get yourself down there, and Mike's off the road and away out of shape down at turn 9 and 10, and yep, a big mistake there for Mike as he now returns back to the pits. He might choose to come in, Paul, or he might carry on, but it's never good to get all that dirt in your tyres, is it? And now the back end sliding out as Sir Lanex goes even quicker on this super soft tyre. Those two putting in some super times, and the Force India driver quickest of all, so good effort there from Sir Lanex ahead of Bartwood, who's on an out lap, and he's gone back out on ultra soft. So Aidan, ultra soft for the second run. Why do you think that is, Paul? Do you think maybe he feels vulnerable with that time, or do you think he just likes to warm up with the super softs and then feel the benefit of all that grip towards the end of the session? Is that what you would do? Is that your thinking?
Yeah, just go out, just see what the track conditions are like. Because obviously we were told it was going to be raining towards the end of the session, so maybe he's just going out, seeing what the track conditions are like, and then I think he should be sorted with that time on the super softs. But yeah, I reckon he's just testing out the track conditions, as I say.
Yeah, well, no sign of rain so far. Will that rain end up arriving before the end of qualifying? Will it hamper anyone on their final flying laps as Aiden is cruising around slowly? Looks like he's really trying to look after those ultra soft tyres, because we do know that the hard tyre wear can be difficult around these circuits on 25% races. So Aiden doing his best to keep them in the window, try and get a lap in. But Sir Lanex, what's he doing? Is he coming into the pits at the end of this lap? Surely he will. Yes, he does. So Sir Lanex in, Bartlett on his out lap. Jack Pearson, meanwhile, on a quick lap and 3/10 up on his current best through the first sector. Through the second sector, he's a 10th down and he's backed out of the lap. So, oh dear. Jack Pearson up against it, and there's the rain beginning to fall as well. So Jack really needs to stick this car on pole position. It would be, of course, his first pole of the season at the 19th attempt, if he wants to do anything about Aidan Griffins this afternoon, as we've got Mr. John in the middle of the road. Is he aquaplaned off somewhere? Meanwhile, we need to go to Bartlett. He's further round the racetrack. He started his flying lap. We'll go to Jack after Aidan completes his lap. So Aidan Griffins into that first sector. That's one of the best overtaking areas on the circuit, down at turn 3, and now through the car park, then through this sweeping right-hander where we've seen a few crashes down the years. Vettel, Kubica ended up in that wall. Barrichello once down there as well, as we now watch Aidan head past the Albert Park Lake on the right-hand side. Maldonado had a big shunt there, and now down into this tricky turn 9. So easy to lock up here, Paul, isn't it, and run wide, and that's exactly what Aidan does. But I think he'll get away with it, don't he?
Yeah, and that's Jack is actually retired from the session now, so if Aidan was just out there to cover Jack, then surely he will be boxing at the end of this lap. I can't see him finishing this one.
Well, we'll wait and see what Aidan does. Will he decide to go with the super soft compound? If he goes quicker on these ultras, he will start the race on them. Sir Lanex is currently on pole at the moment. Is Aidan going to deny him on the ultras? No, he's not, because he's running out of grip, because the rain is pouring down, and he retires from the session, or he will do in a moment. So there you go. Sir Lanex in the end gets the pole position. The top two on the slower super soft tyre, Paul McGuinness, and that is a little bit of a turn up for the books, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. But we shouldn't really be surprised at that with Sir Lane. He's always seemed to be good round here. And what is the odds? You think he's like? What are the odds again? He's 7-3 to win this race, so we really shouldn't be surprised that he's up there. You know, very, very tight there between Aidan and Sir Lane, as you say.
Yep, we'll see how it goes, but it is Sir Lanex on pole. A bit of a premature end to qualifying due to that late rain shower, but Michael Kenny is still out there pushing. He's 3.4 off his current best. We'll see how he gets on, but surely this is a pointless effort, and he will be back in the pits come the end of the lap. Well, the stewards look at his blocking on Jack Pearson. It certainly looked like a block to me, Paul. What did you think of it?
Yeah, it was definitely a block from Michael.
And he's off.
Yeah,
he's off
anyway, but yeah, might get investigated after this race, especially with Jack trying to go for that title. So yeah, not really good for Michael, but Jack has qualified in third, so it could have been a lot worse. Is Michael finishing the lap?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Well, maybe he thinks there's rain coming in the race tomorrow, and he wants to get used to the crossover point, and he's going to do a very dismal 1:45. So, yep, not very good for Michael Kenny. But the big story is Sir Lanex has put it on pole position on those super soft tyres with the championship leader Bartlett alongside him in the Sauber. Jack Pearson on ultra softs could only go third. That's a disappointing result for him. His run without a pole position all season long continues. Mr. Ciapelli, he is fourth. He's won here before as well, remember. Mike Noon is fifth. Thomas Smith starts from sixth. Chris Johnson is seventh. Erland Dang is eighth. It's going to be ninth for Michael Kenny. 10th for Mr. John. 11th for Joe Sayer. And Red Bull King is 12th on the soft compound tyre. So interesting choice there from Red Bull Kim. He's a full 6 seconds off the pace though. Well, you can tell that Red Bull Kim's not had the game for a little while, given that he's only managed to be 6 seconds off the pace. And well, it's good to see he's got the game back, but I think I'll have to be purchasing F1 2018 pretty soon, Mr. Kim. So A strange call from Red Bull Kim, but he is in the race and he will be hoping to score a few points here today. But we have been told that the weather is going to be a nice day, going to be lovely conditions for this penultimate race of the season. Is this where Aidan Griffiths wraps up the title? All he needs is 9th place, and that ends Jack Pearson's hopes. Jack has to win. Aidan only needs 9th, even if Jack wins. So here we go then. The lights are coming on here at Albert Park. The penultimate round of the championship. Is this when Aidan wins the title? We'll find out as the lights go out. And it's Sir Lennox leading from pole. Aidan alongside. Hey, look at Jack steaming down the outside into turn 1. Is he going to make that move stick? We go on board with Mr. Pearson, and there's a real close call between the two into turn 1 and 2. They continue to head down towards turn 3, and look at Barton up the inside of Sir Lennox. Is he through? Yes, he is. Crucial manoeuvre there for the world champion in waiting. And look at Jack steaming round the outside as well. So it's Barton leading Jack Pearson, sliding through in second. Sir Lennox down to third, Paul. What a start from those two.
Yeah, Jack was absolutely, he was going for that there. Brilliant to see such a great start from him. But yeah, we've got a spinner, Chris Johnson.
He's off.
Is that where Maldonado crashed a couple of seasons ago?
Let's have a look. Yep, it is. I think so. Yep, it looks like it. Or is it? I'm not sure. I can't get a good camera view of it. But Chris Johnson is in the wall and is out of the Grand Prix as we go back to the action at the front. And Jack Pearson with a hefty corner cut there. Goodness me, he's all over the back of Aidan Griffiths. He's going down the inside of Aidan Griffiths. And is he going to take the lead? Yes, he is. On the ultra soft tire, Aidan Griffiths coming back though. Side by side they go, and Aidan decides to back out of it. And I think he realises there's no point in fighting it. Jack can win all he wants. If Aidan is anywhere near him or is inside the top 9, he is going to collect the championship. In fact, no, not even that, because the top 12 get points, Paul. I forget about that. The top 12 get points. So 11th will be enough for Aidan Griffiths this afternoon. And with Chris Johnson already out. Oh, look at that behind. Chiapelli and Mike Noon. Very, very close as Chiapelli had a nibble at Sir Lennox. And now he loses out to Noon. So Mike goes up into P4. And Mike now begins to attack Sir Lennox as Dom Smith slivers up the inside of Mr. Chiapelli now. The two Manx men doing battle. And is it going to be a move for Dom round the outside? Not quite. And let's try and get this sorted out. So I've got the interval. There you go. That's a lot better. And Joe Sayer dropping off this tail of the group. So Jack Pearson now into the lead of the race from Aidan Griffiths in second. Then Sir Lennox down to third from that pretty tardy start. And then Mike Noon now climbing all over the back of Sir Lennox. And I have to say, Paul, these super soft tyres not working too well in the early exchanges. And Mike Noon fancies a look up the inside into turn 11 and 12 of all places. He's going through. Oh, wow. Incredible racing between the pair. They remain locked together as they go steaming down towards the end of this long straight. Is Mike Noon going to get the move done? He breaks a little later than Sir Lane and goes past the Sheffield Wednesday fan. Or does he? Sir Lane steaming back up the inside. But Mike Noon's through and he's got the job done. The man who does karting in real life showing he can get a move done. And Jack, meanwhile, up front has made an error and Aidan's back into the lead. What has happened there? The Sauber driver back in position for the title again. Jack Pearson right behind him as he goes down towards turn 1. Is he going to dive up the inside? He sure is. He's back through into the lead. Breathless start to this race, Paul McGuinness.
This is absolutely incredible. Just like last week, these guys seem to be absolutely locked in horns, not an inch given. And you know what, Andy, it's absolutely great to see. It's not like real Formula 1. This is absolutely brilliant.
Yep, stuff your dirty air. Well, there is some in this game, but it's not that bad. As Aidan, look at the run he's got coming out of there. Surely not at the end of Sector 1, and he thinks better of it, and thank goodness he did, because the two title contenders were nearly going to end up in a tangle in the gravel trap down there. The Aussie fans are absolutely loving it as they come racing down towards turn 8, 9 and 10. And Bartlett still right behind Jack Pearson. He knows 11th is enough to seal the title. Remember, the top 12 drivers get points here today. So what's going to happen? Only an Aidan crash could save Jack Pearson from here. So down towards the final sector they go. It's still Jack in control. Aidan looking for an opportunity. Remember, Jack Pearson started from third, Aidan Griffiths started from second, and Jack Pearson chose the ultra soft, Aidan Griffiths chose the super soft. So Paul, around what lap would you expect to see Jack in, and what lap would you expect to see Aidan in?
Jack probably about lap 5, 6 possibly. and I would say Aiden could probably go to about lap 9, so there'll be about 4 laps difference between these two, and of course Aiden will want to keep as close to Jack as possible, obviously with him on the softer tyre, but it has to be said, Jack isn't really pulling away, to be honest.
Yeah, he's struggling, isn't he, Paul? He doesn't seem to have the same raw pace that Aiden does, regardless of the tyre, and that, to be fair, has been the case all season. I mean, we do know, of course, Jack Pearson in 19 attempts now has not been on pole position all season long, and it's been proven on several occasions that he doesn't have the measure or the pace of Aidan Griffiths, and it's actually quite astonishing that he never wrapped up the title last week, Paul. There were so many opportunities that went begging for Aidan, and it just never ended up happening. On that final lap, he was so close to doing it by overtaking Jack Pearson. It just did not materialise, and lap 14 now out of 15, and Aidan still tucked right up behind him, but no sign of a move, and we've got a yellow flag, and it's because Sir Lane is in the wall on the exit of the high-speed chicane, and that must have been a mother and father of a shunt, Paul. That must have been huge.
Suspension's ripped off at the back. That must have got wide on the exit and just spun right across the track. Hopefully didn't collect anyone, but yeah, that's a shame for Sir Lane.
Yep, well, back to the action at the front, and Sir Lane X, who was a real contender early on for the victory, is now out as Mike Noon's come into the pits as we watch Jack Pearson set a fastest lap. It's immediately dismissed by Mr. Chiapelli, the man who had won every time I've been commentating until last week. He's now sitting in P3, and if anything was to happen between these two, Paul, who knows, he might win again, but well, keep an eye out as we watch from the rear of Jack Pearson's Mercedes as that Sauber grows ever nearer through that middle sector they are about to go into the first sector, and Jack Pearson still holding on. Paul, I've got to ask you, if you start finish straight, turn 3, they're probably your best of opportunities for a move. Where else can you make one though?
Wow, you could possibly make one here if you're really close, but that probably the exit of this high-speed chicane up to the far end of the circuit's probably your other favourite spot to overtake, as Aiden's just come up to that section now.
Yep.
Yeah, it's probably your best bet. Otherwise, it'll be turn 1 and turn 3, as you say. But we need to see what Aiden does here.
Yep, it still looks like Jack's in control, but the big question now is, are Jack's tyres past their sell-by date, and are we at the crossover stage where the super soft is quicker than the ultra soft? And it looks like it. Jack's sliding all over the road, running wide, and he's bailed out. He's in the pits. So now Aiden needs to put the lap of his life together, the few laps of his life together, to try and get himself ahead of Jack Pearson and seal this crown. A 1:26 flat, a new fastest lap of this Grand Prix so far from Bartwood. So is he now moving into position to strike on the overcut and seal this championship? Paul, it has to be said, these are the biggest laps of his season so far, aren't they?
Yeah, but really don't want to be in Aiden's shoes right now. The pressure on him must be unbelievable, but as you say, he needs to get his head down, get these laps in, and hopefully, for his sake, or he'll be hoping at least, that he can jump Jack after the stops, but he's getting a little bit wide on the exit there.
Wow.
Aiden's absolutely pushing this to the limit.
Yeah, I would say he's on rails, but he's not. He's all over the road, but he's pushing like a maniac. You can see just how much the man from Inverness is pushing. And can the Scotsman take home the crown? He really is driving it like Colin McRae out there. Look at him pushing hard through that middle sector. Is he on course to seal that crown? So we'll keep an eye on Aiden at the moment. There's no close on track battles at the moment, and I'm actually going to change the gap to the leader. So Jack Pearson's gap to Aidan Griffiths is 21.4 seconds. And I tell you what, Mike Noon, who was quite a long way behind Jack Pearson before his pit stop as he picks up a 3-second time penalty, does Mike Noon, is actually only 1 and a bit seconds behind Jack. So are Aidan and Jack going to possibly cut the deficit down to Aiden and overtake him? Well, if he keeps pumping in fastest laps like that, I don't think so. Another fastest lap pumped in by the Scotsman, a 1:25.4. Is anyone in the circuit going to be able to match that? Surely Jack and Mike need to try and cut that down. They should be able to cut it down. They are on the fresher super soft tyres, aren't they, Paul?
They are, but I'm just looking at the gap to the leader. It looks as if Aiden is still pulling away slightly, about 0.2 a lap. So at the moment, Aiden does have the pace on these two, but we'll see how long he can stay out in the circuit for, and obviously he will be putting on the ultra sauce when he comes in, so it's not a done deal yet, but It's looking, at the moment at least, pretty good for Aiden, it must be said.
Well, Jack now down to 21.5 seconds, and I tell you what,
Yeah.
I tell you, if Aiden is behind Jack, there's every possibility he'll be behind Mike, because Mike's only 6 tenths behind Jack. So Aiden, whenever he chooses to pit, needs to nail the in-lap. He needs to get the pit crew need to nail the stop if he wants to be out ahead of these guys, and if he is, fair play to him, he should go on to win the title. But if he ends up behind them, he probably still will end up winning the title, but it's going to be a little bit more nervy, isn't it? As Mike Noon is right behind Jack Pearson now. There's only 3 tenths between them. Mercedes versus Ferrari, and Mike is really pushing now. 10-1, remember, if you fancy Mike Noon to get a victory. Can he do it? And can Jack and Mike claw that gap in? They can't afford to battle if they want to beat Aiden this afternoon. And Jack just simply does not have the pace round here, Paul, does he? Even Mike's quicker than him.
Oh. Now you can actually see on board with him here, he's all over the place. It looks as if even with those fresh tyres, he's still not got the grip. And as you say, Mike is now right on the back and will have DRS up into turn 3.
Yep, he's going to make a move right here, and this is going to help Aiden. This could certainly bail Aiden out. These two have just gone much quicker than Aiden on the lap, and Mike's going down the inside. Jack, oh, did he turn in? Did he not? Was there room for Mike? I don't know, but they continue on their way with Jack ahead of Mike. And Jack simply can't afford to lose this place. He has to win the race. If Mike gets ahead, he will be on course to possibly win the race. But now look at the gap, 22.1. Aiden is in the box seat all of a sudden because these two are busy squabbling, Paul.
Yeah, indeed, Aiden will be loving this up front. He'll be hoping these guys keep battling and battling and battling, but Mike has run a little wide there, so Jack has got a bit of breathing space at the moment. But yeah, Aiden will be absolutely loving this up front. Yeah,
Aiden will be loving it. 22.2 the gap now between Jack and Bartlett, so surely this is going to be Aiden's position. He's now pumped in a new fastest lap, Aiden, a 25.1, which is quicker than what these guys did on their fresh tyres. Aiden is absolutely flying out there. He's doing a superb job as we watch Jack and Mike come round the final corner. And is Mike going to line up for a move and put the final nail on Jack Pearson's title coffin? Because 22.4, they've lost around 8 tenths on that lap while they were squabbling. Is Mike trying to derail the title party? That is an enormous corner cut, and that is an enormous 3-second time penalty. I deserved one at that. A good slap on the wrist as well. That was a disgraceful corner cut. He didn't even attempt to make the corner. As Jack now runs wide, and Mike has a little look at his rear, but still no way through. And the number 74 continues to hold firm, but really wide. As the gap continues to climb, Paul, 22.6, and it looks to me like Aiden's got this in the bag now, doesn't it?
Yeah, I would think so. I'm not sure how long you need for, or how big a gap you need for a pit stop, but surely it's about 20 seconds or so, so you should come out with maybe a 1 or 2 second gap over these guys, maybe. And obviously be on the fresher tyres, so yeah, as you say, looking very good for Aiden.
Is this his lap? Yes it is, he's in. Mike's dropped off, but Aiden's in the pits, so here we go. Can Aiden get it slowed down? Don't speed in the way in, and he gets it right. So Aiden into the pits. This is the pit stop that will decide his season, isn't it, Paul? This is it. The biggest, most important pit stop of the season so far for Aiden Griffins. On go the ultra soft tyres, and away he goes. Is he in the lead of this Grand Prix, or is he going to have to concede the lead? Here he comes on the pit exit. Where is Jack Pearson? Here they come. There's Aiden Griffins leaving the pits, and Aiden's got the job done. The squabbling has cost him, but Aiden will not be up to speed, and Jack's going to be all right on him. Look at this. The 3 leaders in your shot. Aiden leads, Jack second, Mike Noon third. Jack has to go for it. He's going down the inside. Can he get it done? No, he can't. Aiden holds on, and the squabble between Mike and Jack has cost them a shot at victory. Because Mike's in the wall. He's in the wall. He's damaged the wing. It's game over for Mike Noon now. Forget the title hunt. He's out of it. Wing damage seriously done there. Forget the hunt for victory, not the title hunt. And Mike Noon in trouble. But Aiden is wide. And look at this. Jack Pearson down the inside of Aiden Griffins and into the lead. He's done him. He's done him. And Jack now leads, but crucially, Aiden is where he needs to be.
Yeah, Aiden just ran a wee bit wide on the exit of turn 7, I think it was, and he's lost all traction in the gravel, and that's ultimately what's cost him the chance. Well, I'm saying the chance of race victory. He's still right on the back of Jack, with the fresher tyres, but I can see this getting a bit tasty now, Andy, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm sure it will get tasty as Aiden now looks up the inside into the penultimate turn. It's a shame the championship will be done regardless. Aiden only needs to finish 11th. There only has 11 runners left, so if he finishes, he's going to win the title. If he doesn't finish, it could be curtains, but he's going to go and try and take the race lead and take the victory. When he wins the title, he's down the inside, Jack's off the road, and Aiden is into the lead of the Grand Prix. It was a beautiful move, and up into the lead he goes, and surely Jack has got no answer now, or does he? He comes steaming back up the inside. Does Pearson on those worn tyres, but he can't do anything about it. Oh. He knocks the back of Aiden going through the next series of corners, and that will surely end all hopes of Jack Pearson winning the title. Aiden away into the lead and surely gone. And Paul, look at the understeer, he's off the road.
Yeah, it looks as if Jack's got a bit of firming damage, and that's going to cost him horrendously. And I think now, he's let Chiapelli through. Chiapelli's now in second. Wow.
Yeah, yep, Jack's admitted defeat, I think, and he's going to go and let Mr. Chiapelli hunt down Aiden. Sorry, Paul?
No, and I tell you what, Chiapelli's only 7/10 behind Aiden now.
Oh, and Aiden's off the road.
Aiden's got wide.
And Chiapelli sweeps into the lead of this race, and he's also let Jack Pearson go in that mistake. So, Mr. Chiapelli, is he on to do it again? I don't believe it. He is going to do it again. Don't scratch your eyes, folks. That is Chiapelli in the lead. As Barton does a look up the inside of Jack, and there's slight contact. I remember on F1 2016, I was racing in TGP and Aiden swiped me off at that corner. I'm still not forgiving him for it. Now, Barton against Jack down the start-finish straight towards turn 1. Barton on the inside, Jack is in the squeeze, and then Aiden has to squeeze out behind him and fall back. Chiapelli running away with it, Paul.
Yeah. Wow, I'm actually surprised at that. Obviously it's cause you here as Aiden tries to go around the outside of Jack. He's going to do it, Andy, he's going to do it. He's
done him, has he? Oh, Jack squeezes him out of the road. And this is crazy. Crazy stuff.
Brilliant.
So Chiapelli now 2.3 up the road from these two, and seemingly on course for victory, Paul. I cannot believe this. He's going to do it again as Aiden makes an error and Jack is through again. This is ding-dong stuff between the pair. And I think they're enjoying themselves out there. I think they're admitting the title's done and they're just having fun, Paul, aren't they?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought there. I thought Aiden had backed off and let Jack through again there. Yeah, it looks as if they're just having a little bit of fun to finish off the season, as Aiden is literally on the back of Jack, going for the move now, I think, up into the end of this straight.
Yep, looks like he's going to go to him. Aiden down the inside, and he's through. Good racing between the two. Good fun, isn't it, Paul? But I think the big story here, not only is Aiden going to be champion, but Mr. Chiapelli, what about him? He's going to win the race again. He's only ever won 2 races, and in those 2 races I was commentating. I've only commentated on 3 TGP races since Chiapelli's been here. He's won 2 out of 3. It's just going to be 3 out of 4, and that is a serious coincidence. Surely that is, and actually one of them was at Australia as well, so
yeah, I remember.
A good form for Mr. Chiapelli around this circuit, and he has a 2.6 seconds advantage on lap 13 out of 15. He leads from Bartlett. Then it's Jack Pearson in 3rd, Joe Sayer is 4th, Tom Smith is 5th, Erland Ang running in 6th, Mr. John 7th, Mike Noon is 8th, and he's right behind Mr. John right now. He's going to go down the inside of John, and John, remember, a big fan of finishing in P7. Well, he's just been demoted from P7 and down to P8 goes John. The big Brighton fan drops to P8. Also a big fan of Scottish football is Mr. John, a real fanatic of that. He drops down to P8. So Michael Kenny 9th, James is 10th, and Red Bull Kim, let's have a look at him. How's he getting on out there, Red Bull Kim? Always good to catch up with him. The Danish driver running in P11 at the moment. A lap down as well, but enjoying himself out there. He's in the Williams as well, and it's a bit like Paul de Rest, isn't it? You sell the game, you jump back into a Williams, and you've not quite on the pace, isn't it?
Yeah, it's exactly like that. And I was quite confused. I thought Red Bull Kim qualified in the softs, no? And he's on the softs again now, or is that just?
He was outside the top 10. He was outside the top 10. He was outside the top 10, so he could choose any tyre he wanted.
Right.
So Red Bull Kim now enjoying himself out there on the soft compound tyre. One of 3 drivers out there on the soft compound tyre. And by the way, Barton has chomped the gap down to Chiapelli, and all of a sudden Chiapelli's hopes and dreams of sealing a third win looks like they might be in tatters here, Paul, because Bartlett has clawed that gap down, hasn't he?
Yeah, now down to just about 5 tenths now, and right on the back of Chiapelli. Aiden did say he was going to go for the win, so you can bet your house on it that he will throw a dive up the inside of Chiapelli at one of these upcoming corners. I would say after this chicane, because he's got a very, very good run up here, so we'll see if he does it, Andy.
Yeah, Mr. Chiapelli in real danger here. It looked like he was a stick on for a victory when these two started battling, Jack and Aiden, but now Aiden's came flying back at him on those fresher ultra soft tyres, and is Chiapelli under threat going into the two Lesmos? Not quite, and he holds on for now. We're about to start the final lap. Which of these two are going to take home the victory? Can Chiapelli seal another victory? It would be his third TGB victory, his second at Albert Park. He's a big fan of this circuit. Or is Aiden going to rob him? There's a world champion in waiting, going to rob him on this final lap. Chiapelli defends the middle of the road. Aiden's going to be forced down the outside. Has he got any chance of completing the move down the outside? It looks like he might. Chiapelli runs him onto the grass. Oh, incredibly close. And Chiapelli holds on with some aggressive defending, but was it fair? I would just about say so. I think he had the decision he had to call, as Aiden has a look up the inside and has to back out, and they both lap James, who's disconnected from the section. So, wow, Chiapelli from Aiden, and it's looking really close. Which one of these two win the race? And I can tell you now, I'm looking from my commentary box window, those mechanics from Sauber have already headed out onto the pit wall to greet their man. They're not interested whether he wins it or not. They know he's going to be champion should he get to the finish of this Grand Prix, and he's shoving Chiapelli through the corners. He's desperate to make a race of this. As they head down towards the high-speed chicane once more, has Chiapelli ridden the storm? Is he on course for yet another victory? But Aiden's got fantastic drive coming out of that chicane, and he's going to have a run on him here. Chiapelli senses the danger, defends the inside. Aiden tries again, and nearly nearly swipes the front wing off his car. And surely now that will free Mr. Chiapelli to go out and earn his third victory, his second at Albert Park. Mr. Chiapelli wins the race, but Aidan Griffiths wins his first TGB2 title with second position. A wonderful drive. It was all about him all race long. He's controlled the season. 10 wins in 19 races, 11 poles in 19 races. Paul, there's only one winner. It can be.
Yep, Aiden Griffiths, absolutely incredible. What a season, and yeah, he absolutely deserves this. As I say, I'll be teammates with him next season in TGP1, so we're hoping to do it again for Scotland. But it has to be said, Andy, we tried not to be biased, but how good is it to see Aiden finally winning something after his luck just has not been there. He took a year out,
yeah,
he's came back and he's showed what he's capable of. So yeah, I'm really happy for him, really happy.
Yeah, they'll be partying on the streets of Inverurie, they'll be partying on the streets of Inverness. It's a great night for the Highlands, it's a great night for Aidan Griffiths, the Scotsman. Is going to go home to his sheep delighted. What a fantastic result. Bartlett second, but Mr. Chiapelli, a big shout out to him with a third victory. Could you believe it? He's done it again as Chiapelli. But let's go to the podium, and it will be a relatively happy podium. Chiapelli with that surprising win, joined up there by the new TGP2 champion for season 20, Aidan Griffiths. But look at that, Chiapelli absolutely delighted to have won this race. But it's all about Aidan Griffiths. He celebrates with a champagne. Sauber have collected the Drivers' Championship. It might be a tough order, a tall orders I should say, for them to seal the Constructors' crown. We'll have to do a count on that for the final race. But it looks to me like it's all over in the Drivers. Bartlett, the Scotsman, has done the job. Mr. Chiapelli from 4th on the grid, a superb victory at Albert Park. His second win here, his third overall in TGP. Bartlett, your first ever TGP2 championship for him. Well done to the Sauber driver. Jack Pearson, well, it's commiserations for him, but to be honest, simply not quick enough over the course of the season to beat Aiden. No polls proves that fact. Joe Sayer was 4th. Erland Ang was 5th. Tom Smith brought it home 6th. Mike Noon was 7th. Mr. John 8th. Michael Kenny 9th. 10th the Sauber of, who was in that Sauber? Oh, who was it?
James.
James, yep, it was James. And Red Bull Kim in 12th. collects a point on his return. Good result for Red Bull. Pleased for him. I'm pleased for him, Paul. Good result. But yeah, congratulations to Aidan Griffiths. You know what? I think we should try and get him in here for an interview. I think that'd be a good idea, would it not? Between races. Can you invite him, Paul? Because I'm streaming, I don't want to.
Yeah, I'll send him an invite.
We'll see if we can get him in here for a quick discussion. I mean, we have got the full qualifying session ahead of us, so we might as well get Aidan Griffiths in here after sealing that championship. Oh shit! You've got to suggest. Okay, yep, of course. Just bear with us, folks. We're going to try and get the champion, the newly crowned champion, in the lobby in the party for a quick chat about that race and his championship. I mean, we heard his interview earlier on about him, and Paul rightly said he was unsure if he was going to do the job, but he's done it one race early, and he's done it in the style he said he would, Paul, didn't he? He said he was going to go for it. He wasn't going to try and finish ninth, and it was fireworks. It was exciting to watch, wasn't it?
Yeah, and true Aidan style. He didn't hold back, just went for it, and yeah, he's world champion, Aidan.
Yeah, Aidan.
Hello.
Yeah, congratulations, Aidan, on your first ever TGP2 championship. We just thought we'd have a quick word with you between races. Well, talk us through it. You must be overjoyed.
Yeah, I can't take the grin off my face. No, qualified on the super softs. Went for something different. I knew I wasn't going to be as aggressive today. Just tried to take it home. You've probably seen that on the spectator cams.
Are you joking?
Just letting Jack up
Are you
inside.
joking?
Towards the end of the race, I wanted to take it away from Luca. I wanted to win it, but yeah, I mean, to go with a race to spares, this is brilliant.
Well, we're partying on the streets of Inverness tonight. What have you got to say to your family, your friends back home?
Well, we're out of the Iron Brew Cup, so this has definitely cheered me up a bit. Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, I'll be joining the party too, so yeah.
Yes, and what about...
And a shout out to my friend Scott as well. He's been supporting me these past 4 races.
Yeah, could you tell us more about Scott? Who's Scott? Tell me about him. Is he a lucky mascot?
Scott is my lucky mascot. Yeah, Scott is he's a fantastic guy. Ups the morale for these races. Cheers you on. Watches the streams and yeah.
So okay. Well, congratulations. What's your? Well, we go to Abu Dhabi now, the final race of the season. What do you intend to do to celebrate after the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix? What's your intentions?
Well, definitely going out on, as you said, to the streets of Inverness.
What about Abu Dhabi?
Well, you're not allowed alcohol in Abu Dhabi, so fly back straight to Inverness. Okay,
and are you going to do an open top bus tour like Inverness did when they won the Scottish Cup? Is that something up your sleeve, or are you not interested in that?
No, that thing is getting stored away, so only I can look at that.
Okay, interesting. Well, that is Aidan Griffiths, your TGB2 champion. What have you got to say about Jack Pearson, your championship rival over the course of the season?
Started strong, got on his head a bit, but I think, yeah, he's a strong driver. Just he's quite easy to get in the head of.
And how did you go about getting in his head? What was your approach to that?
Well, obviously being in a party with him. You got the 2 Mercedes boys, so they talk about penalties, or just putting him under pressure. He sort of panics, cuts corners and stuff like that. So it's quite easy to get him a penalty. Okay,
well, Aidan, we're heading off to Abu Dhabi now. I'm afraid your time with us is done, but congratulations on your world title, and all the best with Paul McGuinness next year in TGB1. In fact, a quick word on that: TGB1 with Paul McGuinness next year. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I think me and Paul get on quite well, so I think there'll be a lot of chemistry between us two as teammates.
And do you think you can go on and make it back-to-back titles next year in TGB1?
I hope so. It's going to be tough. I mean, there's a lot of quick people in TGP1, so yeah, I hope so.
Who are your biggest rivals then in TGP1? Who can win the title?
Well, I don't know. It's a new game, so everything's going to be neutral playing ground.
Okay, well, what about the constructors finally? Mercedes versus Sauber. I've not done a tally up to tell you how tight it is, but are you still in it? Are you out of it? What's the script?
Unfortunately, it is finished.
It's finished, okay. Well, there you go. Yep. Mercedes have won the constructors. But thanks for joining us, Aidan. Congratulations on your title. Nice. And enjoy the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Bye-bye.
Well, Paul, a very happy Aidan Griffin's there. I think he seems a little bit relieved to get the job done, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. I've not heard Aidan like that for a while. He obviously senses the pressure was getting to him, as I said before, and now it's just letting it all out, enjoying himself now, and yeah, he'll go to Abu Dhabi feeling, well, brilliant, I guess.
Yeah, but in the form of his life, and with that pressure off him, can he go out there and try and dominate the field in the fashion that he's done so often this season? As I've mentioned already, he's won 10 races out of the 19 till now. He's been on pole 11 times. But well, another word about Jordan Sarlenex. He's a driver that will be feeling downbeat after that last Grand Prix, where he was sitting so well on that front row and then ended up in the barrier at Melbourne. It was quite a heavy crash. Can he recover here, Paul? Is this a track you think he can run well at?
Yeah, I would say so. Jordan seems to be quite competitive on these circuits towards the end of the calendar, so I can see him being up there. He'll obviously start on his normal harder tyre and do the alternative strategy, but yeah, I can see Jordan getting a good result here, Abu Dhabi.
And what about yourself, Paul? Do you approach it with the harder tyre a lot, or are you always a man to go with the softer tyre, get the grid position? Like, what's the advantage of the harder compound? Is it just trying to go long? How do you approach it? What's your way to go?
Yeah, well, you know me, I like to just absolutely go for it on the laps, but the advantage of starting obviously on the harder tyres, for me, you seem to be able to get the consistency on it, and ultimately that's more of an important feature in the race, is your race pace rather than your one lap pace. So for me, I normally like to start on the harder tyre, but sometimes I will. Depends on what circuit it is, I guess. Here at Abu Dhabi, it's probably better off starting on the softer tyre, just to obviously for the grid position.
And what about this track, Paul? Is it a track you enjoy? Is it a track you find quite enjoyable, or not one of your personal favourites? What about the drivers? Do you think they'll enjoy it? I mean, I like it as a spectacle, as a commentator. I think you get some good racing around here on the game. Maybe not perhaps in real life, but on the game, it's certainly I enjoy it.
Yeah, no. For me, it's probably the first sector's the most enjoyable for me, just that flat out section, but the rest of it, as Kimi Räikkönen once says, is, well, I can't say what he said on stream, but yeah, I don't really enjoy the last couple of sectors. Just too many point and split corners and 90-degree chicanes, and it's just very fidgety, but it's a good spectacle though.
Yeah, it doesn't really flow like the first sector, does it? It's a very stop-start. The final sector's a bit like Monaco, isn't it? The way you start and stop, and the sector in between, it just doesn't flow. It's just a long start, then a big stop. But that first sector, though, it really is exciting. The elevation change in that first sector, I really enjoy. But I'm riding on board with Mike Noon as he heads down one of the longest straights in Formula 1. It's nice to see a nice sunny day in Abu Dhabi. We get that very often here in the desert, of course, the United Arab Emirates. Around 2 hours drive from Dubai, downtown Dubai, as we watch Mike Noon head through that chicane and then down past the Yasmarina Bridge, through the second of the two DRS zones, over 195 miles an hour before he hits the brakes into that very tricky 3-point chicane. It's like a triple chicane, isn't it, Paul? And very often when you try to continue a side-by-side move, it can get quite squeezed, can't it? You can end up with collisions through there, can't you?
Yeah, very easily. It's just, you can't really, there's not enough gap there to go for side-by-side, but you bet on these guys. These guys will definitely do it. But as you say, I think we've had a couple of collisions here in the past. I can't remember who done it, but yeah, that's definitely not the best place to be going side by side.
Yep. And what about the hotel, Paul? I mean, have you got a review for TripAdvisor? I mean, we stayed in there last night. I mean, I enjoyed my stay in there, but I think one of the producers got food poisoning, which was a bit of a shame. But Yeah, I enjoyed it. We enjoyed our stay, but I heard the producer got a dodgy play of muscles and ended up with food poisoning. So no producer here this afternoon. But yeah, the hotel's been okay. I've enjoyed it. Good to see Dom Smith and Joe Sayer putting us up in there from the TGP series. So a big shout out to them. But yeah, it's good to be in that hotel last night. As Aidan Griffiths has gone quickest on a 1:38.381. He's gone a tenth quicker than Jack Pearson, with Mike Noon third, or some 7 tenths, 8 tenths even off Bart Dude's time. Baza has gone fourth. Mr. Chiapelli fifth, fresh from his victory last time out. We still await a time from Dom, Chris, Mr. John, our good friend Red Bull Kim, Erlandang, Michael Kenny, Sir Lennox, and Joe Sayer. So I wonder how low the times will tumble come the end of the session, as we watch Chris Johnson round the final corner, and he's gone 6th ahead of Chiapelli. So 6th of the 7 times so far for Chris, and Chris surprisingly not near the sharp end this season in TGP2. He's very often a TGP2. He's a seasoned TGP2 driver. He's a veteran at this tier, and he's raced at a very high level, won many races at this tier, but it's not worked out for him this season, has it, Paul?
No, definitely not. A couple of seasons ago, you would bet on him on honestly winning the championship, but I think it's just towards the end of the cycle now. Chris Johnson's just dropped off his pace a little, but yeah, it's a shame to see him down there.
Yeah, well, F1 2018, of course, it's not far from release, and Chris will be looking to get himself in the action there. Of course, it releases next Friday. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it, to get commentating. I might even do some racing at times, Paul. I mean, what about you? Is it a game you're really looking forward to? I'm excited. Are you?
Yeah, for sure. I think I want to get back into the swing of Hockenheim and Paul Ricard, those two tracks. I think really for every F1 fan, that'll be the first sort of circuits that they race on. I'm not sure about you, but I've always had a good relationship with the Hockenheim ring, so yeah, it'll be good to race there again.
Yeah, I agree. Hockenheim ring is certainly probably my favourite track of all time. It's the one I've ran best at across all the games. But Paul Ricard, I'm not a fan. I don't really like it, but I'm sure I'll give it a go and see how it runs. But no, I'm really looking forward to it, Paul, when it releases next week. And yeah, I'm sure TGP will run some good leagues on it, and it will be an exciting season 21 of TGP2, as Chris Johnson has come into the pits. So still Bart Dude on pole with 5 minutes to go in qualifying. Sir Lennox has gone second, and interestingly, Paul, they've done the same thing again as they did in the last race. Super soft tyres, and they're both on the front row. So those guys proving again that they seem to have a pace advantage over the likes of Jack Pearson, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. Aidan, I'm surprised Aidan's doing that, to be honest. I thought he would have, put on the ultras now that he's won the championship and just absolutely went for it. But yeah, I'm really not surprised Chris has done that. Just try and get, obviously, qualifies high up, get track position, which around here is not really as important, but it's still good, especially for that sort of last sector, just to make sure that you don't get stuck behind anybody. But yeah, the pace advantage here seems to be quite large.
Yeah, there's a real solid gap, as I'm now riding on board, or not riding on board, watching outboard from Red Bull Kim. But let's go on board with Red Bull Kim, and let's try and go on board for a lap of this Abu Dhabi circuit with Red Bull Kim, the 21 corners, and head down. He heads into that tricky first corner, left-hander. Not often you get an incident down there. It's usually quite clean through there, and then they climb up the hill, 6th gear through the left-hander and right-hander, and Red Bull Kim frightened off the road, I think, there by the Ferrari coming out of the pits, and he's backed out of it, has Red Bull Kim. So fortunately we're not going to go on board for a lap with Kim, as he lets Mike go as Chiapelli came out of the pits. And now Red Bull Kim's taking a totally different route down into that chicane. And Paul, I've actually got to ask you this. This is quite an interesting question. That chicane that precedes the hairpin just before it, do you think they should open that up and just do what Red Bull Kim just did there? Just run straight down into that and create an overtaking opportunity, perhaps? I think it would be great.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. Just to come flying down that hill and just straight into the hairpin. Yeah, that would create a lot of overtaking, which you don't really get much of at Abu Dhabi. So yeah, I'd be up for that for sure. Yeah,
and it would create some interesting racing going down that back straight as well. So, yep, if you're listening in, or Abu Dhabi GP organisers, get that changed, and we want to see it. But as a Red Bull Kim continues to head round the track and failed to set the world alight, currently P11 with no time on the board as Kim, so we'll see how he gets on as Dom Smith carries on in an outlap. Joe Sayer has gone 9th quickest, some 10 seconds off the pace. So Joe outside 107% at the moment. But I suppose he'll not be too bothered. They have, of course, wrapped up the title. And Paul, your game crashed.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What, are you back in the lobby? No. I'm such an idiot. I've got my notification. You should have just told me. Right, I'll try and get you back in, Paul. I didn't realise my phone. I wasn't even looking at my phone, and I've got my notifications turned off. So I'll get you back in. No, I need to get you back in. How do I invite you? How do I do it? Is there a way I can do it?
I'll try and work my magic and keep an eye on the stream at the moment, I'm sure.
Okay, so is there no invite for you, Paul? No available invite? And I can't invite from in here, can I? I don't think I can I?
No, it's fine. I'm going to try and keep at it, don't worry.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just, I've had to do this many times as well when I've not been able to get back in and just try and commentate from outside, watching on the stream on the delay. But yep, sorry for the technical issues, folks. Nothing we can do about that. Paul McGuinness's game crashed, and I've had that on many occasions. So let's have a look at Dom Smith heading down that long back straight in that Ferrari. Over 200 miles an hour before you hit the brakes. 203 miles an hour, 204 even hit there for slamming on the brakes. As Erland Dang has gone quickest of all on a 138 flat. Erland Dang, where has he pulled that from? I didn't even see that. He's gone quicker than Bart did. And this is a big surprise. So can Erland Dang surprises? And now my controller's died. Okay, well this has turned into a disaster. So I'll need to go and get a charger cable for my controller. But I want to watch Erland Dang complete this lap first of all. Hopefully my controller will let me watch this. So Erland Dang round the final corner. No, it won't. So I'm going to have to go and get a replacement controller. And what has he done? A 37.6. He's gone much quicker, has Erland Dang. But I'll be back in a moment. I need to go and get a charger.
So yeah, sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. We are trying to sort this out as Andy goes away to get a charger for his controller.
Apologies for the technical issues there, just a little ITV TV break. As Erland Dang is still quickest, Bart Dude's unable to beat him, he's a full 7/10 slower. So is Sir Lanex now on the super soft, now on the ultras, going to be able to displace Erland Dang from top spot. Now that is a real surprise to see Erland Dang on top. I'm just having a look to see if he's been on pole at all this season, and I don't think he has. So is this going to be a surprise first ever pole for Erland Dang? Let's see what Mike Noon's going to do. And Sir Lanex, well, that ends it now. He's a full 10th and a half quicker than Erland Dang. And it's now Jack Pearson now goes even quicker still. And is he finally going to get that first pole of the season? I think he is. Only Dom Smith can deny him. And Dom is not on a quick lap. So there you go. Jack Pearson. Well, he's waited till the title race was over and finally gets his first pole of the season. So there you go, Jack Pearson beats Sir Lanex to pole. Erland Dang thought he had it in the bag. No, he didn't, and he drops to third. So Jack Pearson, a first ever pole position of the season, does it after the championship's been wrapped up. He's on pole ahead of Sir Lanex. Erland Dang is third, Mike Noon fourth, Bart Dude all the way down in fifth. Paul McGuinness, are you still with me?
I'm still here, yes. No, that's great for Jack Pearson to finally get that pole position. He's left it to the last minute, I should say, but yeah, I guess now the pressure's off him. He's starting to show what pace he actually had, as I'm still trying to get into this lobby.
Well, is there any way I can get you in, Paul? I don't know if there is.
No, I don't think so. I'll try and watch on the stream, even though it will be delayed a little, but...
Well, hopefully we can get you back
what we've got.
one way or another.
Sure.
But at the moment, we're waiting on the end of qualifying. It's Jack Pearson who's done it. His first pole of the season, ahead of Sir Lennox in second. Erland Ang was third, Mike Noon fourth, Bartwood fifth, Mr. Chiapelli sixth. Bartwood, interestingly, on the super soft compound tyre. Again, Mr. Chiapelli, fresh from his win last time out on Ultras in sixth. Basil was seventh. Chris Johnson was eighth, as we now go to that loading screen in a few moments' time. But good to see Jack Pearson finally getting a win on the board. So a vital victory for him. For Mercedes, 1 minute 37.432, just 600s ahead of Sir Lennox. Is this going to be a good afternoon for Sir Lennox? Can he get the victory that arguably he might feel robbed of last time out with that big crash? We'll have a wait and see if he can do it. Erland Ang, that's a real surprise to see him up in P3, but it looked like he might even have had pole at one point. It wasn't to be though, and he missed out. Mike Noon was fourth, Bartwood fifth, Chiapelli sixth, Baza seventh, Chris Johnson 8th, Michael Kenny 9th, and Mr. John rounded out the top 10. Oh, I better skip that intro. So here we are on the grid for the final race of the season, the final race on F1 2017 before we move to F1 2018. Well, it's been a great game, it's been kind to us, Paul. What's been your greatest moment in TGP this season? What have you enjoyed?
Wow, there's been a lot of great action. I think actually on that point, I think it's probably going to be the fight between Aiden and Jack last week. I think it was in Brazil and Monaco. That was honestly some of the most tense racing I've ever seen in league racing. So these guys have definitely put on a good show for us, and yeah, hopefully for one last time we'll get some great action.
Oh well, we'll see how it goes, but the 5 red lights are coming on. It's Jack Pearson starting from pole position, Erland Ang alongside, and the 5 red lights are out and we are racing. Jack Pearson leading for pole, and Erland Ang has got a great start. In fact, no, hold on, that was totally messed up. So Lennox's car is in the wrong position there on the timing ladder as he takes the lead. So Sir Lennox is actually in the lead. Ignore that, he's not 13th. Meanwhile, Mr. John has crashed. He's done a Hulkenberg down at turn 1. So Mr. John in serious trouble as we go back to the action further near the front. Sir Lennox still holding firm. Mike Noon second, and sorry, Jack Pearson second, and Mike Noon third. Apologies for that. The game messing up with my head there as we watch Jack Pearson under a real threat here going down the straight. Mike Noon and Bartwood all over the back of him. Is Jack close enough for a run on Sir Lennox? It doesn't look like it. Look at the movement in the background there between. Oh, there's contact. Jack Pearson running into the back of Sir Lennox, and further back behind that, Mike Noon and Bartwood go through unscathed, but Jack Pearson damaging the wing already. That's not the first time tonight he's had wing damage. Remember that happened last time out. Look at the squeeze. Mike Noon's giving Aidan Griffins on the run down to that second chicane, and Mike runs wide, cuts the corner. That will be Aidan's chance. Oh, they meet in the middle. It'll be disgusting in qualifying, Paul. Oh, look how tight that is, and it looks like Aidan has just about got through. You won't have seen it yet, Paul, but you'll see exactly what I'm talking about in a few moments' time. So it's Sir Lane from Jack, from Aidan, then Mike Noon, and Erland Ang is next. Look at that, what a fantastic battle. Erland Ang, he'll be disappointed to have dropped so far down, having qualified so well up in P3, but it is Sir Lennox in the lead from Jack Pearson, Bartwood, Mike Noon and Erland Ang, and look at that, a real slide there for Mike. And is he coming in? Yes he is. He's got wing damage, and that might explain a lot of the understeering issues that he had. So in comes Mike Noon. So in comes Noon then, and onto a set of the super soft tyre he will go. So Mike Noon into the pits. Meanwhile we can go back to the front with Chiapelli and Erland Ang. It looks like Chiapelli's lost out there to Erland Ang. He's up to P4. So let's have a little look if Chiapelli and Erland Ang are about to do battle, as Aidan Griffins meanwhile looking like he's quite close to the back of Jack Pearson. Is he interested in making a move on Jack going down that long straight? Very close to the back of that Mercedes, but unable to get a move done. Remember, Aidan Griffin sealing that championship last time out in Australia with a superb performance. He only had to finish 9th, but he, as always, battled hard and fought all the way to the flag to get that job done. As we watch Bartwood head onto the brakes for the end of that long straight, and through that triple chicane they go. Still Sir Lennox in control. Jack Pearson, then Bartwood, then Erlandang, Chiapelli and Baza up in 6th. Goodness me, Baza, what a drive this is so far. Not often you see Baza up in 6th place, is it, Paul?
No, but I'm sure I read the chat earlier that Baza was actually expecting a baby tonight, so...
was that right?
Yeah, I'm surprised that he's... Yeah, I'm sure I read in the chat earlier that, you know, the baby hasn't come in time. Oh, could have worded that better, but yeah. He was basically expecting tonight, and, you know, he's turned up for Abu Dhabi because the baby hasn't arrived yet, so yeah, good to see him.
Well, good luck to Baza if that happens tonight. Well, I didn't even realise that. Well, that's quite incredible. He's going beyond the Call of Duty tonight, isn't he, Paul? Has to be said.
Yeah.
Well, it has to be clear, I don't think Baza's expecting a baby himself, but but still, I mean, imagine Baza was expecting a baby and he was out there driving. That would be very unusual. I said, actually, Joe's going to try and go around the outside of Baza, the pregnant Baza, unable to make a move. But Jack Pearson and Aidan look to be doing battle further up the road for P2, as Aidan going to try and make the move. Remember, Aidan on the super softs, Jack on the ultras, so Aidan shouldn't be as quick as Jack, but as he's showing all season long, he has a pace advantage, and he's down the inside, and is he through? Slight contact, but yes, he is. Up he moves into position number 2, and drops Jack down to 3rd, but Jack, with the benefit of the DRS on this straight, should come steaming back at him. So the two former title contenders. Oh, but what a switchback that is from Jack Pearson. That ain't going to stop, and he ends up trundling off the road. Bartwood gets a 3-second time penalty. I'd be amazed if Jack doesn't, and he doesn't somehow. But that was a really late lunch from Jack. That's what you like to see. That's exciting to watch. But on that occasion, he was unable to get it stopped. Oh, he's off. Oh, he's in the wall. Big off for Jack Pearson. I'm surprised the car's not in bits after that. And he's lost the front wing, and Jack Pearson will return to the pits, and his race will be ruined. His season is going to come to a disappointing end, it would seem. So, yep, not good for Jack Pearson, and he comes into the pits. And yeah, that's it for him. Surely a brand new front wing will go on the car as he trundles down pit lane, and into the box he goes. So Jack Pearson onto a set of the super soft tyre. He will now try and go to the end of this Grand Prix, but not at all what he wanted. Is Joe and Baza have been continuing a battle that's been going on quite a while, and Joe right up behind Baza is going to try and go round the outside of Baza. Oh, go on, Joe. Oh, go on. That's beautiful. Baza might be pregnant, he might be vulnerable, but Joe Sayer with a lovely move round the outside of Baza to drop him back to P6. That's one of the moves of the season. Beautiful manoeuvre. Unfortunately, the DRS might just end all the glory, because here comes Baza straight back up the inside of Joe Sayer, and he's through. So all that hard work, all that classy move done by Joe Sayer, undone. Whoa! Baza with a huge tank slapper. Joe then damages his front line as he clips an unavoidable Red Bull, and now that will move Chris Johnson ahead of Joe Sayer. Well, it's side by side they go. Who's going to win this battle down into the chicane? Oh, they're locking wheels. Joe's squiggling all over the place, and Chris Johnson has got the move done. Now, Joe, did he damage that wing? Yes, he did. Slight damage for Joe Sayer, but Selenex now opening out a 1.3 second lead as Joe has a little look up the inside of Chris through the right-hander of all places. And is he going to get that stopped? No, neither of them are going to get it stopped. They both go off the road, they rejoin, and Chris is P5, Joe is P6. And look at Baza having a look up the inside, and he has to think better of it and backs out. But you've been watching, Paul. What about that move from Joe around the outside on Baza? It was beautiful, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was honestly, as you say, one of the moves of the season down into the first chicane. You don't normally see a lot of overtaking there, but you know, Joe managed to do that, and what a move it was. Absolutely incredible.
Well, let's have a look then as they come back out onto the track. Chiapelli on his way out, Erland Ang on their way out. They've both been in the pits, they've fitted super soft tyres. Where are they going to be in relation to Red Bull Kim, who's coming round? And Kim should be ahead of those two. Up into P6 now will go the Danish driver, the Viking. Through he goes. Whoa, we've got a huge accident. Oh, Erlandang and Michael Kenny. Their paths met as Erlandang came out the pits. Michael Kenny caught unawares. They collided, and Erlandang smashed into the barrier and out of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and that means he will pick up no points at all, and that's a shame. That was a hefty hit there between him and Michael, he will carry on as he wounded. Well, I think his car has somehow got away without any damage, but quite a collision there between the two as we go back to Jack Pearson, who's going to try and side his way back through the field after that earlier front wing change. He's now down in 10th, but he's fighting the two Ferraris. Dom Smith directly ahead, Mike Noon just further up the road from that, and is Jack going to make the move? It will be made harder because Dom Smith himself has got DRS from his teammate. Jack will try and go round the outside of Dom, and Dom will make it tough for him. He squeezes him right up, but Jack gets it done. That was lovely from Jack, and Dom was fair. He gave him enough space, and Jack moved through into P9. So Jack gets the move done. Dom drops down a place, and next up on his radar is the other Ferrari of Mike Noon. I don't know if you've seen that move yet, but it was nice from Jack Pearson if you have, Paul, wasn't it?
Yeah, nicely done. No contact, right round the outside of Dom. So yeah, really good move. And now he's now going to be attacking Mike pretty shortly.
Yeah, it's looking pretty interesting to see if Jack Pearson how far into the points he can get as the pit stops begin for Chris Johnson and Baza and Michael Kenny. They're all in. Let's see how they get on as Bartlett has really sliced the gap to Sir Lanex to only 4/10. Those Ultrasofts past their sell-by date, it would seem, for Sir Lanex, and Bartlett's having a little look up the inside and can't get the move done as Chiapelli. Oh, he's in the wall as Chiapelli. And that might have been a collision with Red Bull Kim, perhaps, and Chiapelli off the road. Wing damage, race ruined. So problems there, but we need to go back to the battle for the lead between Bartlett and Sir Lanex, and Bartlett's got it done. He's through, and the world champion flexes his muscles here in Abu Dhabi. He takes control of the race on the Super Softs. So he's done it, and up into the lead, and surely this is going to be another victory for Bartlett, Paul McGuinness. It looks like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, just watching that move there on Sir Lane. Yep, nice and precise.
Hold on a minute, Paul. Jack and Mike are going at it like crazy down the straight. Jack cuts the corner, rejoins, and that was like a heavyweight boxing match between the pair of them. That's allowed Dom Smith back into the tussle. And sorry to come across you, Paul. Wait till this battle's finished, and I will come back to you. It's chaos between the three of them. And is that Dom having a steamroll up the inside of Jack? It is, and he can't quite get it done, and Jack survives for another day. He is the meat in a Ferrari sandwich, and given it's an Italian sandwich, what would you consider the meat, Paul McGuinness? What would you put in there? Italian salami, Milano salami or something in the sandwich? I don't know. What Italian food would you put in a sandwich, Paul?
Well, that's got to have some meatballs in there, surely. Got to have some meatballs in there.
Yeah, meatball. Yeah, that's a good idea. Meatballs. Yeah.
Sounds nice.
Well, Jack Pearson is the meatball in an Italian sandwich at the moment. So, Mr. Meatball, Mr. Pearson in P5 at the moment with Mike Noon directly in front and Dom Smith directly behind her. In fact, Dom Smith dropped back a little bit over the last few corners or so, and now Jack can refocus on Mike Noon. Mike Noon, who is renowned for his defensive driving. He does like to fight to the wire in an aggressive state, the number 38, which is the number, of course, he karts with as well. And Jack Pearson is going to be forced down the outside here, and Mike says, nope, no you don't. I'm going to control this position for a little bit longer. And now can Jack get the exit coming out of that first chicane, and now heading down towards that second chicane, the second dose of DRS as Jack Pearson going to move into position. He's going to try and go round the outside of Mike again, who squeezes him right out to the curb, and Jack still tries the outside, and Mike once again says nope, you're not going past there, son, and has to stay behind. But Bartlett, meanwhile, is right up behind Joe Sayre, who's yet to stop. So Joe in the lead of a Grand Prix. Not often you see that, Paul, is it?
No, I think it was like, I'm sure we're at the start, I think it's about 153 races or so since Joe last won a race. So yeah, it's good to see Joe up there fighting. Obviously he's not pitted yet, but it's good to see him up there anyway.
Yep, well, he's no longer in the lead as Bartlett passes them on the start finish line, so down he goes as Sir Lanex now is trying to come back into this battle. And oh, that was close. Joe jumps out the way of Sir Lanex to allow those two continue their battle. So 6 laps to go here in Bahrain, goodness me, Abu Dhabi, and it's Bartwood still in control from Sir Lennox second. Joe Sayer yet to stop in third. And hold on a minute, how was Joe Sayer? Alright, I'm confused now. Oh yeah, that's right, Bartwood and Sir Lane have stopped. Joe Sayer hasn't stopped, so that's what it is. I was confused there as to how Joe Sayer was up in P3. Mike Noonan P4, Jack Pearson still behind him in P5. Is Jack Pearson this time going to be close enough to make a move on Mike Noonan? We will go on board from him, from that camera that's no longer any use with the halo in F1 2018, where you look down the driver's side and Jack Pearson steams down the outside. Mike's going to miss his braking point this time, and surely Jack will be through. Mike, no, he's not through, and Mike still holds on to the position. And is he going to allow him through? Oh, goodness me, Mike defending hard, and Jack sailing down the outside. Mike's going to brake late here. You can bet your bottom dollar he'll brake late, and he'll come steaming in, overshoot the corner. Is Jack through this time? Has he come through the shot? No, they're not. He's not through still. And Dom is going to be back on the tail of these guys again. Or surely this time Jack's through. Surely this time side by side they will go through there, and Jack will have the upper hand. Look at this. This is superb. And Mike, again, somehow, against all odds down at betnoon.com, is ahead in P4 from Jack Pearson in 5th and Dom Smith in 6th. And again, he's back in a meatball sandwich, Paul. Again.
Yeah, I think Jack likes to be in that meatball sandwich. Maybe Saints a move to Ferrari next season for him, maybe.
Yeah, he loves meatball sandwich. He loves meat. He loves meat. He loves meatball. So, Jack Pearson still in there behind Mike Noonan and Dom Smith behind him. But Bartwood in control, a 1.2 second advantage over Sir Lennox in second. Mike Noonan 14.4 now off the top two, as Jack continues to be the meatball in that sandwich in P4. Dom Smith P5, Chris Johnson P6, Bazza P7, Joe Sayer P8, Red Bull Kim P9. What happened to my mic? Oops. Dom Smith P, where was that? Michael Kenny P9, Red Bull Kim P10. Mr. Chiapelli, the man who hit the heights last time out with a victory in Melbourne, P11, and struggling, it would seem, to get going after that earlier incident with Red Bull Kim, doesn't it, Paul? No, hold on, sorry again, Paul. Sorry, this is just, this battle keeps developing. I keep going to you when the battle develops. And Jack Pearson, whoa! Whoa, what was that? That was an awful attempt at a switchback. He's damaged the wing for the 3rd time this evening and the 2nd time in this race. And Mike Noonan will just disappear off into the distance, and now Jack will surely leave that meatball sandwich with Dom Smith overtaking him pretty soon. But yeah, Paul, Mr. Chiapelli struggling at the moment.
Yeah, obviously after that contact, he's just not really had the pace since then. After obviously his success last time in Australia, but yeah, it's just gone all wrong for Chiapelli in the last race, which is unfortunate.
Yep, Chiapelli. Unfortunately for him, 25 points last time out. He's only going to get the 2 here today with that P11, of course, the Joe Sayer point system in effect. And I am not a fan of it. Joe, if you're watching or listening, get rid of it. As we go back to the action. Sorry, Joe, I had to put that in there. It's the end of season. I'm allowed to be a little bit more relaxed in the end of season, am I not? Final race. Championship decided. But Mike Noonan, P3, Jack Pearson P4, and now with that wing damage, Dom Smith, the Manx man, closing in on that position. It really is interesting why Dom Smith chose 4 wheels over 2, considering you've got the Isle of Man TT over there. Strange one, but that was his decision. And Dom Smith right up behind Jack Pearson. Dom Smith doesn't usually respond well to pressure, as to be said, but he's the one applying the pressure at the moment on Jack Pearson. And Joe Sayer, he's around, what, 12, 13 seconds behind Dom Smith at the moment. Just to put another one of the old quotes in there, I don't think Joe Sayer will be turning the tables on Dom Smith this afternoon here in Abu Dhabi, because he's too far behind on those super soft tyres. And Dom is actually fighting for a rare podium here, Paul. Not often you see that, is it?
No, not at all. I think he actually got a victory. I think it was last season in Suzuka. We all remember that one in tricky wet conditions.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, but yeah, Dom's not normally one for a podium, but I for one would love to see him on the podium in this final race if he can get past the Jack and Mike train ahead.
Well, it'll be difficult because Mike, of course, the quicker of the three, it would seem. Jack Pearson with that wing damage might be slightly vulnerable, might offer Dom Smith an opportunity to make that move in the closing laps. We'll wait and see. But Bartwood continuing to waltz away out front, 2.3 seconds now, his advantage over Sir Lanex, and it's going to take something incredible from Sir Lanex in the closing laps to get anyone near him. And it looks like Bartwood is going to wrap up an impressive 11th win from the 20 races, over half the races won, and that's a pretty convincing performance, and that is Isla one worthy, isn't it, Paul, as we go into next season?
Yeah, definitely 11 wins. Wow, that's just incredible. That's like the sort of like Lando Norris type performance there. I'm sure we'll see him in F1 next season, but for Aiden, it's kind of got me a little bit kind of nervous to be teammates with him next season, it has to be said. With that sort of performance, I need to be up in my game. But yeah, Sir Lane, 3 laps to go, so I really don't think now he's going to close the gap. It looks as if Aiden is probably extending that gap, so yeah, it'll be a good result for Sir Lane to finish off the season in P2.
Yep, it looks like it, as Baza now gets close enough to Chris Johnson. Remember, Baza pregnant, awaiting a child. He's attacking Chris Johnson. Can Baza get the move done? Surely he's cheating because he's got 2 people on board. Baza, surely you can't have that. I mean,
no, definitely not.
Have we got a child applying the brakes and Baza applying the steering? Not sure what's going on, but in all seriousness, good luck to Baza, and as his wife, I presume, is expecting a child tonight.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yep. So, well, it's not going to be his boyfriend, is it?
Yeah,
you probably,
that's a different story. But
yeah, very unlikely. But yes, best of luck, Baza, anyway, to for your family. I mean, that would be very good to see, and hopefully everything runs smoothly tonight, and you can enjoy your result and enjoy your evening. So Baza P6 at the moment. Can he get Chris Johnson to top off the perfect evening for him? That would be ideal. But lap 12 out of 14, Bartwood still in control from Sir Lanex in second. Mike Noon now 20.7 seconds off the front two. It just shows you the pace difference between the top 2 guys and the rest. Then it's Dom Smith up to P4 now because oh, look at this battle here. Baza and Joe doing battle again, and Baza and Joe battling hard. Is Baza going to get the move done? And Joe's been flying back through the field on fresh ultra softs. Can Baza come flying back at him down the inside? Tries Baza, no he can't, and Joe is up to P6 now. Baza to 7th, and now he's spun. Oh, the pressure's got to him, and Baza goes for a spin, and well, the commentator's curse has struck. I was saying it was a good evening for him. Well, it's just gone sour slightly, and Baza drops to P7, and Michael Kenny might be coming at him quickly. And actually there's a battle between Red Bull Kim and Mr. Chiapelli developing for P9, and these two came to blow earlier in the Grand Prix. Let's see how it goes this time. Red Bull Kim defends the left hand side of the road. Chiapelli will come steaming down the outside. Can he get the move done on Kim? Kim outbreaks himself. He'll cut the corner, won't he? Yeah, he will. And through will go Chiapelli. He lets him go. So candy for my baby, that one. It was like Premier Division against 3rd Division, wasn't it? And Red Bull Kim, who's simply not up to speed at the moment, was easily overtaken by the Australian Grand Prix and 3-time Grand Prix winner Mr. Chiapelli. And Red Bull Kim demoted to the wooden spoon spot, Paul, and that's never fun, is it?
No, it's definitely not. It's a shame to see Red Bull Kim down there. I for one would love to see him up there winning Grand Prix, but yeah, just needs to have more time on the game, and hopefully we'll see him next season with a better job.
Yep, absolutely. So I'll see how Kim does next season. The Danish man, the man from Denmark, the man who loves a Carlsberg, the Viking himself. He of course has visited the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix before. He's a big fan of the Abu Dhabi race. He likes coming here, and Kim knows the circuit like the back of his hand. So surprising to see him running so poorly at the moment as Jack Pearson the session. So not good for Jack. He has left the session as we keep an eye on Joe Sayer attacking Chris Johnson down this back straight on the penultimate lap of this race, the penultimate lap of this season. Remember, Mercedes have wrapped up the Constructors' Championship as well. So Mercedes got the Constructors, Sauber with Aidan Griffin's got the Drivers' Championship. Paul, what about you? I mean, if you were it's hard to judge, isn't it? If you're a team owner, you want the Constructors. If you're a driver, you want the driver. But as someone from the outside looking in, the driver's champion is the one you remember, isn't it? Not the constructor.
Yeah, definitely. You don't. As you say, you're always going to be remembered for winning the driver's title, unlike the constructors. I know I've won a few constructors myself, but obviously I won the TGP2 title back in season 4, and that's obviously something that I'll always remember. So yeah, you're right on that one. Definitely driver's title before the constructors.
Yep, absolutely, and that's not even just for the drivers. So that's also seen in the same way as for the people watching. They always remember the driver's champion. They might not always remember the constructor's champion, because it is rare, but sometimes it does appear that you can have a different driver's champion from the constructor's champion, and it has occurred here this season. But season 20 will be remembered as the season that Bart Dood took his first TGP2 title. Sorry, Mercedes, it won't be remembered as the season Mercedes won the constructors, because driver's title always takes priority. And we're now going to watch Bart Dood complete this perfect season. He's won 10 out of 19 races. He's about to make that 11 out of 20 races, more than half the victories. Half the races have gone to him. He rounds the final corner here in Abu Dhabi, the final corner of the TGP season, the final corner in F1 2017, and he wins again, this time leading home Sir Lennox. But no, a penalty for Bart Dood gives Sir Lennox the victory in the final race. So there you go. Mike Noon is going to come home a distant third, it would seem. He's going to bring it home ahead of Tom Smith, who's going to be P4. Then the battle between Chris Johnson and Joe Sayer. Chris Johnson nursing a seriously damaged front wing, I think. No, is he actually? I think he might be okay. But Joe's going to have a look up the inside. Is he into the final corner? No, he's not. Tom Smith P4, Chris Johnson P5, Joe Sayer P6 on the road. Penalties confirm it remains like that. Baza, Michael Kenny, Mr. Chiapelli and Red Bull Kim will be the last men to see the flag. So Sir Lane wins, Bart Dood second, Mike Noon third. Fourth for Dom Smith, Chris Johnson's going to be fifth. It's sixth for Joe Sayer. Baza coming across the line now for seventh. Best of luck to him. Hopefully he can on the birth of his child on P7. Michael Kenny, P8. Mr. Chiapelli, P9. And now we can watch Red Bull Kim. And is he going to give us some donuts? Go on. Yes, he is. Yes, Kim. Red Bull Kim, give us some donuts. Well, he's not set the world alight this season, but he's going to set the track and his tyres alight at the end of the season with some donuts. Brilliant. And Red Bull Kim, is he practising for next year, as Alonso once said? Oh. Practising for next year when Red Bull Kim goes out to win the title. Can the Danish driver turn his form around and win the title next year? Practising for next year was Red Bull Kim, as we now watch him come round the final couple of corners to complete the season. And that's a highlight of my season, seeing Red Bull Kim enjoy himself out there. Some say he's there to make up the numbers, but no, he's not. Safety car deployed? What? What? Safety car deployed in the final lap with Red Bull Kim doing donuts. Okay, well, you've achieved something I've never seen before, Kim, bringing out the safety car after the checkered flag has fallen. Well done, well done. Well, that is one way to end off the season. Wow. I've enjoyed it. Paul, have you?
Yeah, it's been an absolutely brilliant season. Gutted it's over, but with the new game etc coming out, yeah, it just builds the hype for the next season, so I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yep, it's going to be a cracking season. There is the delight on the podium for Sir Lane XC in the end there. Snatched that victory from Bart Dood as Bart Dood collected too many penalties. Apologies for not spotting that one. And Mike Noon completing that podium in third. Dom Smith was fourth, but yeah, a good season all round. Bart Dood won half the races, 10 out of 20. Sir Lane X getting that victory there. And that is the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. There you go, look at all those penalties. Only Sir Lane X not collecting one of the finishers. Good drive from him. Bart Dood second, Mike Noon third, Don Smith fourth, Chris Johnson fifth, Joe Sayer sixth, Baza seventh, Michael Kenny eighth, JPL ninth, and Red Bull Kim with those lovely donuts at the end in 10th. Well, that's it from myself. That's it from Paul McGuinness. That rounds off the TGP2 season. It's congratulations to Mercedes on the Constructors' Championship, but it's congratulations to Bart Dood, his first ever TGP title. He wins TGP2 in season 20. Good luck to him in TGP1 next season. That's all from me. That's all from Paul. Good night.